Okay, now.
All right. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Bobbie Beckman. He's a practicing dentist in Italy. Been practicing since 1971, if I remember correctly. He was trained and brought up in the early years of dentistry in Norway, and then migrated over to Italy. He's been fighting an amalgam battle vigorously on the in Italy and Norway since 1979. His topic today is zirconium implants. One of the things that he's been an advocate of time is metal-free dentistry entirely, and metal-free implants, metal-free restorations, and so that we don't continue to place these more harmful substances in the mouth. So if I've forgotten anything, Bobbie, I apologize, but I'd like to turn it over to you so that we can continue on.
Thank you. This is what we did yesterday. We had just some pictures to make you relax.
And tell them how well you dance.
This is Alex, what's he called? He's 3 years old. Oh shit. Daniela had kisses too, and Dolphin wanted to kiss her on the mouth. So this is a sentence that I ran across a few years ago, and it sort of describes very well why do the dentists still use amalgams, and why do they still poison people with root canals and so on? Because we are used to what they teach us at high school, and what we taught is kept as the only fact, and you don't derive from that during the years, especially not the professors. When they taught their lessons to their students, and Leo Tolstoy, the Russian writeress, I think he's made that a very good expression. I know that most men, including those that deals with problems of the greatest complexity, can seldom accept even the simplest and most obvious truth, if it be such as would oblige them to admit the falsity of conclusions, which they have delighted in explaining to colleagues, which they have proudly taught to others, and which they have woven thread by thread into the fabric of their lives. So, here we go. The implants is not a very new thing. This underjaw is found in Honduras, and it's roughly 5,000 years old. And you can see that these are the implants. There are 3 pieces of shell cockles, and you can see that it's been stuck there for a while. It's not just left there, then this actually it's a merit. It's just walk around with it, and it's apparently served too. A little bit later, this is an Etruscan Italian implant or substitute for lost teeth. It's only 3,000 years old, and it's made of 2. One is lost, one is still there. 2 pig teeth, taken from a pig, and it's kept together with a piece of gold. We think this is antique, but 3,000 years later, today, this is what we do. I don't think. I think this one is nice. Rather, this one. I took this one out 2 weeks ago from a lady, and this is what root canals do. Root canal teeth do. This is, here you can see the crack in the tooth, and all the what do you call them? Osteitis. Abscess. We don't do this anymore. So you have, during the years, this is medieval things, various implants that have been tried or just been rested on the paper. But many of them have been tried, and you also have, there's a story about the princess in Hungary who took out some teeth from her baby daughter, or from her daughter, and put it into, because she missed some teeth, so they transplanted teeth from the daughter who's taken out to fit into her. So this is not a new thing with the aesthetic problems with going without teeth. They've always tried to resolve it in one way or another. These are made of iron. This one you can still see, at least in Italy, you can see people walk around this kind of implants. I think this one is just paper project, because how do you get this disc down into the, this is supposed to be down the jaw, that's the canal for the nerve, and to carve out a side for the disc and then screw in the implant. It's very nice looking, but I don't think it works. This is another one which is it's fantastic. I mean, you drill the holes perfectly parallel, and then you put this block of metal into the post, and then you screw. I mean, you have to free the whole underjaw from tissues and muscles to do this operation. This is this is a lady that came to me, and she had inflammation around her in her underjaw around here, where she still remembers 20 years after when the dentist hammered the implants into her jaw here and then did the bridge on. That was inflamed, what do you say?
Inflamed.
Inflamed, okay. And so I divided the bridge and took it down. So many types of materials and designs have been used to make implants, and you have used tantalum, chrome cobalt alloy, which is used by Linko, for instance. This is the Linko blades that have been very popular in Europe at least. Bison Hodge in the 50s tried acrylic implants, and then Sam Sandhouse, which is the father of the Zirconia implants, in 1962 made implants from aluminum oxide. The aluminum oxide implants was also the Tübingen implants, which were the first implants that was commercialized, and they were made in two steps, like the titanium implants. They would the implant, and then you cemented the post on it. That was the implant material. Aluminum oxide was too weak, so it cracked after a while, and this kind of implant has been the Achilles heel to ceramic implants, because when dentists or other persons familiar with implants think about or hear ceramic implants, they think about these Tübingen aluminum oxide implants, which didn't last. So it has sort of given the ceramic implants a bad reputation. Anyway, Sam Sandhouse in 1975 already made his first implants in zirconium dioxide, or zirconia, and those implants are still there. So it's been over 25 years that zirconia implants have been working perfectly. Only that's Dr. Sandhouse, he's in Lausanne. He's never commercialized his findings. He just keeps on doing it and give lessons, and he's a great person. So also the zirconia implants are not a new thing. This is the Lincoln blade that is used to put into very thin crests of the jaw, especially the underjaw. But it's still metal, and it works, but it's also very sensitive for inflammation. And then, above all, it's a metal, and we can talk later about what metal does in the jaw. So why do we use bioceramics? This is the first zirconia implant that Sunny Sandhouse has developed, and it's made in a traditional way. You put in the implant and let it heat, and then you open it up, and then you cement this post. And you can see where the weak point is. It's where this is only 1.5 millimeters, and if it's not cemented very, very close to the implant, it's just left a micron of space between the post and the implant. The risk is that it cracks. So the new implants that are made today, and there are about 6 or 7 types in the market, they are all made in one piece. And that takes you away from a lot of problems. If you have it in one piece, you don't have the risk for the crack when there's no weak point, really. And the other thing, which is very important, is the junction between the post and the implant. When it comes to titanium, that's where the bacteria are allocated. That is probably with the surface of the implant and the post, and between them they grow bacteria. And that's probably the start of the peri-implantitis, where they have infection around the implants, where the bone gets infected and starts to solve. With a one-piece implant, you don't have this problem because there's no place where the bacteria can colonize. Another argument for bioceramics is the color, especially in the front part of the jaw. You can see the difference. This is a patient of mine where one zirconium implant didn't stick. I had to take it out because I put it in immediately after the extraction, and probably the bone wasn't ready to hospital the implant, so the implant didn't stick. The other one did. So I put in a titanium implant instead, and you can see what it does to the gum. It's a bit swollen, and it's colored. The color from the metal implant shines through, while the zirconia implant leaves the gum a healthy rosa color. We talk about zirconia. In English language, zirconium is an element. It's one of the metals in the periodic system with the number 40. And you can see between titanium and hafnium. Hafnium is there. Zirconium, the zirconia is the name of the ceramic, which is zirconium dioxide. And zirconium dioxide is not pure. There's 3% of yttrium oxide and just the rest of hafnium. Hafnium is because it's very, very similar to zirconium, so it's extremely difficult to separate, and as it doesn't do anything else to the zirconium, you find it as a rest element in the ceramic, but it doesn't mean anything. The yttrium instead is used for a special purpose. Make it clear the differences. This is zirconium. This is the metal, and it's pure zirconium. There's nothing else in it. It's an ordinary-looking metal, and it's rather easy to. It's easy to work it, to form it. It only depends on the amount of oxygen. If you have, the more oxygen there is in it, the harder it gets. So if it's more than 0.7% oxygen in it, it's hard enough, you hardly can't do anything with it. So this is zirconium. This is this material, nothing else. The other thing, the thing that interests us is zirconium, and that's the ceramics. And this ceramic is you can feel it and see that it's very hard to touch. The raw material, when it's found, it's zirconium, and it can be transferred to various crystals if you add various metals to it, and it gives different colors. That's often used as a substitute for diamonds and costs much less. The zirconium metal and also the ceramic doesn't solve in anything. I mean, you could ask, does it solve in the mouth? No, it doesn't. The only thing that solves is the aqua regis, which is potassium acid and salt acid, 1, 2, 3. That is the normal that salts go to. That's a very strong acid. So before it starts going to on the implant, it has taken away the whole mouth. So saliva and what you eat and what you normally put into your mouth doesn't do anything to the zirconia implant. It doesn't corrode because it doesn't leave any ions. It doesn't react as a metal, so you don't have a problem with corrosion. The surface of the zirconium is so hard that the bacteria doesn't grow very much on it. It has 1/3 of the growth. If you put a titanium piece in the mouth and zirconium part, you have much less plaque, bacterial plaque growing on the surface of zirconium, 1/3 only, compared to zirconium or to composite, for instance. So it's resistant to bacteria. Then you have, it's very has a high toughness, pressure resistance, and flexibility. The X-ray density is that's a complete contrast. It looks like metal on the X-ray. And it's got a very high wear resistance. That is 0.002 cubic millimeters per hour. And resistance to corrosion. Now, why is ytterbium oxide here between 3 and 5% is mixed to zirconia ceramic. That is the only thing that's mixed into. The rest, there's only these two. So the ytterbium oxide is, the reason why it's in is because, and this is very important, at room temperature, the zirconia has a stable monocline form. It's like a, this is the form it has. When it's heated up, it changes the form, and when it comes to over 2,000 degrees Celsius, that must be in Fahrenheit, would be astronomical. It changes to a cube form, which is much smaller than this one in the room temperature. And this cube form is maintained by mixing it with ytterbium oxide. You maintain this cube form even when it goes down to room temperature. So it has the crystals has a smaller form, which is kept in place by this ytterbium. And when the zirconium, which is ceramic, could crack if you really put something hard and tough on it. The crack that goes in between the crystals frees the monocline form, so in the crack the crystals becomes bigger and closes the crack and stops the tendency to crack. So that's why we have this one in it. So it's a sort of self-healing component. And that's the only reason to have ytterbium. It doesn't do anything else. It just maintains the form of the crystals. Then there's also, when you find zirconium, the raw material you find as sand in Brazil, in Australia, in Florida, and some other places in Asia. And it's radioactive because it's practically always mixed with thorium and plutonium. So the first thing they do is to take away the radioactive components, the other materials, and zirconium is left with a very small amount of radioactivity, which is under the normal radioactivity that your bone has, for instance. Anything that is made of metals like calcium, our bones, or the ground radioactivity. This one, zirconium, has a lesser radioactivity than that.
Question.
Yes?
Over here. I just wanted to know if there are different affinities of metals to radioactivity. I don't know that. Like, is zirconium less radioactive affinity to titanium or gold?
I can't answer that. I don't know. That's a very interesting question, but I simply don't know. Anyway, level, the safe level in our world is put to 250 millisievert per year. That's the amount of radioactivity that can stand without getting harmed. And the radioactivity from the zirconium implants that we use are at 5.4 millisievert per year, which is only marginally over the human bone radioactivity, which is 3.1 millisievert per year. This is what zirconia looks like. This is a scan, dental scan. And so it looks like a metal, and it what's called the cinch. Yes.
Scattered.
Yes. Sam Hassano, which is my mentor, he's the one that started this zirconium implants, and this is his Insermed implants. The surface is lusted and is slightly rough, and the roughness of the zirconium implants that we use today has the same surface roughness as the titanium implants to attack the osteoblasts as good as possible. This is taken from Portuguese work, which shows the affinity of zirconium implant to the bone. This is the bone. And this is the this is the surface of zirconium implant, and this is an osteoblast, which is hanging on to. It grows on the surface, and you have the osteointegration from on the surface of zirconia is same as the one in titanium. And that makes the surgical protocol very similar to titanium implant, the protocol you use when you put in the titanium implants. Another picture of the same thing. The elastic fiber is growing on the surface of the zirconia. This is the first bridge I did in '99, when you can see there's the zirconia implant, and the bridge is stretched over these 4 teeth. This is what it looks like today. It has a slightly, like you find on other implants, a small ditch around the implant. But as I told before, it's easy to keep clean. And this bridge is made of zirconia too, so this is what it looks like on the X-ray. This is on the inside. The same law is for zirconia implants as for titanium. You have to respect the aesthetic curve from one tooth to another when you put the implant in. You have to have bone, preferably, and also the tissue on the outside. This is badly placed titanium implant, and the result is this. This is a girl that came to me. When she was 8 years old, the dentist wanted to take out one of the milk teeth, the lateral milk teeth.
The deciduous.
Deciduous teeth. So, but the mother said she's already dropped it. That's a permanent tooth. And he said, no, I recognize one when I see it. So, and she said, why don't you take an X-ray to confirm that? No, it's not necessary. So we pulled the tooth, and it was the permanent tooth. So, and the mother didn't want metal implants, so she had a splint made for her. And when she was 18 years old, she heard about this zirconium implants that I was doing. So she came up from Bologna, and I put in this is one of some Sunhouse implants. Sorry about the quality of the X-ray, but it's the only one I have. This is directly when I put it in. This is what it looks like. It's also immediately after it has been put in. As soon as you put the implant, you can prepare it, shorten it, and give it the shape you want. And then the crown is made, also only ceramics, of course. And this is what it looks like today.
So you say, Bobbie, you're saying that you put immediate placement of a crown?
No, she's had a tooth pulled when she was 7, and I did this when she was 18.
But when you put the implant in, did you make the crown for the implant that day?
Yes, you can work on it immediately. Yes, I'll show some slides about it. What's this?
Does that depend on the occlusion? I mean,
Yes,
if you have a
because
class
the-
2,
The implants are normally, or many times, they're too long. It's one piece, so the post is many times it's too tall, too long, so you have to cut it. And this is what it looks like. This is the implant, and you can see there's no shadow of metal, although it's very thin out here. And the gum grows on the zirconia surface. You can see it's even better than the other levels. So yes.
Bobbie, are you saying that you can have weight-bearing tooth in one day? So the same day you put the implant in?
No, I don't say that. I say you can try it. Depends on how you put it in. I think you can. Yes, I think you can. That depends on your ability to put the implants, the judgment of the site when you put the implant, the quality of the bone, and everything else around it. That's your professionality that judges that. But I think you can, yes, because we'll come to that later. How to protect the implant. This is what she looks like. The little white thing you saw is her ears. This is the difference. We have the zirconium implants and the grey shadow of the titanium implant. We talked about the difference, and this is one of what happens when it's happened 2 times to me that the posts have broken. It's cracked here. I don't use this one. And so what do you do? Well, you drill a hole, which is not an easy thing to do. It's very challenging, but it's you can do it. Because the post is also zirconium, so you don't have the weaker center of the hole to go for. You just have to imagine and be very clever, and that's and try to make a new hole in the implant. You can do it with a drill because it's not like titanium that conducts heat. You can do it in the ceramic because it doesn't conduct heat, so you can freely go down with a high-speed drill. when you have your hole, I made it this way. I put the zirconium fiber post, and I made the abutment on top of that in composite. And I've done it 2 times, and still, that was, first one was 4 years ago, the other one was 3 years ago, so I will still keep. It's very much like having a normal tooth when you have zirconium. You don't have any screws or posts or a lot of different kinds and types and measures and diameters and to play with. It's just the implant, and then you have your tooth, and you really shape it the way you like it. You take your impression, just like if it was a tooth, a normal tooth, and the crown or a bridge. She's missing tooth number 30. I tried to make the numbers of the tooth the American way, so number 30, so everybody knows what it is. Please say 46. That's for you, John.
Thank you.
We don't label persons on the operation board with green stuff all over the room. I don't know what you do in the States, but in Italy they tend to be very dramatic. And it's just like taking the liver out or something. They prepare you in a way that's absurd. Just stick to normal hygienic surgical protocol, that's all, like doing anything else, minor surgery in the mouth. This one was done with we call it peritome, when you just punch out the, just do a hole, do a flap hole. And then the drill, and then check the how far it's way down. We use the trophy digital X-ray system, and then the ultimate drill. This is the Zeta lock implant, and you screw it down. You can do it either by hand, or it's also a small thing that you can do with a very low ratio drill. When I do the holes, I never go over 150 rounds per minute. And the ultimate hole, the one that prepares the hole with the same size as the implant, I never go over 70 rounds per minute.
Could you repeat that?
I never use saline water to irrigate it. I just go very slowly. I like when it bleeds, because that keeps it becomes a normal wound. Because it's not necessary. It takes away the blood clot. It dilutes the blood, and it makes it. It's not necessary for us to do. So, I remember Hal Huggins once said, if you go too fast into bone with a drill, it burns. And you know what burnt protein does? It hurts. So, post-operative complications are very small. I've never had any swellings, very little aches when the patient takes one pill the same evening, and the day after they don't feel actually anything.
Bobbie, would you repeat your RPM? That was their question.
But the question was, why don't you?
What it is? No. They were asking you back here to repeat the RPM that you use. The first hole, when you have to go through the cortical bone, it's pretty tough. I use up to 150 rounds per minute. But the
last drills, when you're through, when you have the hole open into the medulla, into the inner part of the bone, I never exceed 70 rounds per minute. And bringing down the implant, I go down to 19 rounds per minute, just to make it very slow.
1990?
Do you ever have to tap it because you're going so slow, the hole may not fit the actual size of the implant? If you're when you're making the hole, when you're at 70 RPM, do you ever have to tap it, meaning you have to use a larger drill to go in just so that the implant can fit?
Yes. Yes, there's a tap drill too. If you have, especially in the underjaw, you prepare the cortical bone with a tap. That's right. So, but still, I do that with. That's the first opening with not over 150 rounds. You can see here, you can see here that the implant is a bit too high. It touches the antagonist, the upper hand. So you prepare it down with the diamond, that's the normal way you prepare a tooth. You can do that because, as I said, the ceramic doesn't conduct heat. So it doesn't. This is what it looks like on the X-ray. Now this type of implant has this juniper form, which is meant to be put down in contact with the bone at a horizontal level, like this. But I'll show later another form of implant that makes it easier. Going back to this young lady, this is where a few months later, where you can see the gum has grown up, it practically covers the post, and that happens all the time. The gum reacts around the zirconium by growing. It doesn't only grow up, it also attacks to the zirconium. You can't put a probe down between the gum and the zirconium implant because it's in contact. So what you do, you have to free the post. You can do it with a normal electrotone utensils because it doesn't conduct electricity. So it's not like an titanium implant where you can't do it. You have to go around with a scalpel or something else to free the implant if you have to take the gums away around. You know, when you go back and open up for the implant, you have to have the implant free to take the impression and put the posts on. When you have titanium implant, these implants you can without danger go around the implant with the electrodome as much as you want till you have the whole post free to take the impression.
Can you use a laser on that?
Yes, no doubt.
The laser won't damage?
No.
You can't low immediately do an occlusion. About how long do you wait?
Well, the manufacturers recommend that you leave it alone for 3 months in the underjaw, 6 months in the upper jaw. That's because they don't want failures. But as I said before, it depends on how you judge if you put it in place where, for instance, that taking out the tooth that is slightly bigger and you pack bone around the implant, you just have to leave it alone. You can't load it immediately. Instead,
It would
if
be
you have,
normal, just like a regular.
yes, regular. So you can. This is been nearly free with electrotome implant. I don't have the laser, but I'm considering buying it. So, but I know that you can use it without any problems. And then when you have the post clear like this, you just take your impression like a normal tooth and have this crown bridge made and cement it on. And you can use any cement. If the person is very sensitive to composites, you can use the zinc oxide, phosphorus zinc oxide cementer, or you can use any of the cements. I don't know what you use here. Anything that sticks. Cyanide, right. This girl had a rotten root canal tooth made. I tried to make a appendectomy and didn't work. Then it cracked. Then I took it out. Then I put one of the ceramic implants into it, and it was neatly in place. I just wanted to screw just one more, then it cracked all the way because you do it with an instrument that goes into the implant. It took me more than an hour to take the thing out again. Then we met it. This is the place where when it's 30. Help me out here. What place is it? It's
28.
The fourth.
It's 28.
28, okay. So it's very near to the nerve too.
Mental foramen.
Yes, mental foramen. And but I just let it heal, and then I open it up again and put in this kind of implant instead. And that was 4 years ago. So this is what it looks like today. I'm sorry about the quality, but you can see that it's all just like the other tooth now. This is the implant around. Paula had a very bad tooth that I had to take out, and this is that's number 9. No, it's not. That's number 9. That's right. With a very deep pocket around the tooth. Put an implant in, and as he had a very deep, I had to work on the post, which made it very thin.
Is that
Like
immediate
this.
placement? You put that at the same time you took the tooth out? Did you take it out, take the tooth out, and put that in at the
No,
same time?
I waited. I've done that just in 1 or 2 places. I prefer to have. I'd like to have healed bone. I like to know that the bone is all right before I put the implant.
Did you do bone grafts?
Huh?
Did you put bone in, bone graft?
Yes. But this was healed a few months before I put the implant.
How do you temporary? What do you use for a temporary?
I'll show you that. Also here you can see the post is free with the electrode to come down to the normal shelf that the producer has made on the implant where you can rest the crown. This is what it looks like when it's finished. Another one. Always with no metals. The form of this is the implant I use today. There's some others that I haven't tried yet, but I've tried them too. Because the material is always the same. It's the same. They're all made from the same factory that makes the zirconia ceramic. The advantage with this one is that it's more seed shaped, like a seed. There's no indication to cracks. The only one that has cracked inside the mouth was the Zirconium implant. The other one we've seen up to now. But this one is, and it's also doesn't have any particular place where we have to attach to the bone. This is all. You can bring it in as far as you like, and then you can prepare it if it's too long. The surface is just like titanium surfaces. This is their zirconia surface, and this is the same fabric that makes the titanium implants. So it's not much difference. This is the plaque growth on the titanium surface, and this is the plaque growth on zirconium surface, made at the same period, in the same conditions. So you can see the plaque affinity to titanium is much bigger than to zirconium. That's made directly in the mouth of a person, so it's not done on rats, it's done on people.
So say you're doing a anterior implant and can't load it immediately, but they're one piece, so there's no submerged healing powder. So what kind of prosthetic do they wear?
You mean
Prosthetic ring?
May I make a comment, please, on this?
Yes.
I need a microphone. I have to mention the plaque surfaces. I am very involved in implant dentistry, and I don't sell any type of implants. The difference in surfaces now we have in different companies. All the difference is the polishability of the surface. Now, let's name a company which is the most advanced in implant dentistry, which is Nobel Biocare. I have seen electron microscope pictures of implants, with the newest implants with Nobel. Depending how you finish the surface, it attaches to the bone differently to the periodontal membrane. I have seen amazing results with the pocket depth of the surface pulp. What counts now with the new implants is how they finish the collar, the neck, where the implant goes inside the bone. I mean, I love to use, we have been waiting for years to get zirconia in Canada, okay? But I've used implants for over 30 years. We've done thousands of implants because of the structural issues. I remember first time lecturing to this association years ago, everybody was like sitting like this, you do implants. The only reason I did implants for the structure. But what I'm trying to say here, as we advance in implants, the polished surface of implants, as we advance, you could have beautiful attachments. Literally the periodontal membrane attaches to the implant depending on the polishability of the surface. I have to comment on that. And as we advance, we have immediate loading depending on the surface finish. And I'm sure this company will start doing the different finishes, right? And I'd like you to tell me what's the amount of, I didn't get the zirconia, the percentages of the elements. How much zirconium dioxide is in this? And what else, what other elements are needed?
That's right. The new titanium implants are highly polished on the last part of the collar that is the contact with the bone and the down part. So that's right. It's bringing down the problems with the plaque growth on this titanium surface. That's right. The second question is.
What's your
97% of the ceramic in zirconium is zirconium dioxide, ZR, 0.02. And the rest, the 3%, is ytterbium oxide, which is the other crystal, the other ceramic, which is there only to maintain the cubic form. You go down from 2,000 degrees down to room temperature to have this self-healing result if ceramic starts to burn.
Is that what gives it the white color?
No, the white color is the zirconium.
The metal, which I haven't seen yet, does it look white to you?
No, the metal is the metal. Then you make the oxide from the metal. And that takes away all the, it doesn't have any qualities, metal qualities. It doesn't conduct electricity. It doesn't induce electricity when it moves in magnetic areas. Conductive light. And it doesn't read electricity because it doesn't. There's no ions coming out inside. And it's a very poor heat combustion.
So can we really purchase these and legally use them here?
The legal part of it is up to you folks.
It's been cleared by the FDA.
Frustrating.
Yes, I have a letter. I'm gonna print it off the internet. I got a letter that says it's been cleared by the FDA in the United States. Well, I can't right now because you're using my computer. Later today, I gave it to Jimmy, so I know Jimmy's
I know
at
he's
least.
been saying that we could get them, but he kept saying we can't do it.
Okay, I have on my email, and I can print it off later. I'll go to the business office area. The approval from the United States FDA to use zirconium implants, and I'll get it for you.
And can we get them?
That I don't know.
Carry on, Bobbie.
Go on, Bobbie.
Okay. The form is just like the other Citalop that I've used is parallel. It's like a tube. This one has a slightly cone shape which makes it condense the bones. This is normal for any person that makes the implants. With this one, this part is smaller, slightly smaller than this one. So when you put it in, this part condenses the bones and it helps fixing it to the side where it's placed. John is he's a Swede, but he lives in Colorado, and he called me from Colorado. Zirconium implant. And to do that for me, I'm playing ice hockey and I had one of my teeth cracked. So this is what we came with, a tooth that was glued on to the rest of the root by his dentist in Colorado. And you can see the fracture line is here. So we took the tooth out. As he had a very short time, this is the first I did directly in immediate implant. I used the zirconium drill. I took the bone from the bone that I took out when I drilled it. I saved it to this is Astra that collects the bone. And fill up the hole with it and put in the implant. The bone was that I drilled from the whole side longer than the tooth. So the rest now I used around it.
Bobbie, did you take the bone out of the same socket?
Yes.
Okay.
He just went farther out.
And this is 30 millimeters long. You see it's rather swollen because it's the drama from taking out the tooth, which was not that easy because it was fractured, picked up in the alveoli. And then it was too long, so I shaped it with the high speed. This is what it looked like when it was just put in. You see, the only part where the bone takes it, or where it's
Engage the bone.
yes, this is where the bone takes it. The rest is the alveoli with the bone placed around it. Then the protection. I gave him this. What do you call it?
Splint.
Splint. Okay. Splint with you have to do it on all the teeth because if you just do it here, the molar starts to grow, so you have to protect all the teeth. He was not very happy with this one. I made it with some composites on the front to make it look better, but I know that he didn't use it very much. So then he came back 4 months later. This is what it looked like, and I freed the gum around it, took an impression, and put the teeth on. Now this is where this is the same for any implant procedure. You just have to have enough gum or bone, or at least gum on the outside before you put the implant. If you don't have it, you have to reorganize the gum, the flesh, and make it thicker before you put the implant. Otherwise, you finish like this with a tooth that's much longer than the other one, which is not very nice. This was coming on from the States, and we had a short time, so I couldn't do that.
Bobbie,
Yes?
do you use the splint for the posterior as well?
Huh?
Do you use the splint for posterior implants as well?
Yes, I'll show that. But he's happy. So, and this is what it looked like when I put the implant in immediately. This is what it looks like today. We have the bone growth and up to still has this horizontal level. There's no pockets around it, and you have a ceramic crown. So Laura had a crown that had a bridge that went from this molar to the premolar. And she didn't want the bridge anymore. It was made of gold and ceramic and other things. So she wanted an implant. So just drill a hole and put the implant in. And then I took a copy of the bridge and made this protection on. This is the copy of the bridge with a hole free around it. It's closed on the outside, but it's open on the inside. And when food comes in there, it's fairly easy to rinse it. This is what it looks like on the outside, where you don't see it, but you can you leave it sufficiently open to be able to clean. This is the result afterwards when I've done the three crowns on the implant and the two teeth. So 3 separate crowns, and she's very happy. Rodolphus, he's the one where I put 2 implants in. I took this tooth out and put these 2 implants, and this one didn't stick, so I had to take it out, and I put the titanium implant instead. Also to see, I mean, you choose when I do this over the years. This is shift of paradigms. You don't do it from one day to another. You try and you stick to what you're used to. It's like abandoning amalgams. I mean, there are places where nothing can substitute amalgams, and then you go from that to amalgams. I mean, you see what I mean? It's you try different angles. You try in the situation when you work. You decide many times you decide immediately the size, the length, the kind of implant that you use. That's the way I work when I do surgery. Anyway, this implant, the annual stuff, when it has happened to 3 implants, zirconium implants, it's only those 3. I've substituted them, the other 2, with zirconium implant immediately, and they stack. So it's you just rinse the hole very good, and then you put in another one which is slightly bigger, and that works. Christina had this tooth in the upper jaw, and here I used the setup of instruments which are all in zirconium. This is the scalpel. This is the drill in zirconium. They're very sharp, and they don't tend to lose their sharpness as fast as titanium drills do.
I saw that.
Put in the implant. You see the tweezers are made of zirconium too. And in this case, I have prepared the site with a splint made of I think it's titanium with acrylic on it in the center. Yeah, that was like called Maryland.
Maryland type bridge.
That's one way of protecting it. Because we want to protect this post that sticks up from touching and from chewing. Many of these, all the patient doesn't cooperate, or I just, especially this one post between other teeth, and it's not high enough to get in contact, you can't touch it with the other teeth. I just leave it, and that works, has always worked. It's not according to the rules, but it depends also on how the situation is. If you can see that it's very well stabilized and the post is small, and patience is not. You just keep it clean, don't chew on it, don't touch it with your tongue, and it works pretty well. So the difference between the 3 implants that I've used is this one with the risk of cracking, and the only one that's this one is cracked just in this line, and I think it's perhaps it's an input to crack where this very steep
So how many have you lodged on the second one?
Huh?
How many did you grade on the second one that you said?
Yes, no, 2. 2 on this one, 1 on this one. This one is cracked. And these I cracked 1, and 1 was lost because I put it in place, but that was not healed. The bone was probably infected, still infected, like Nico face. I don't represent this furnace. I just found this implant very easy to use. They have an excellent tube outfit, and it gives me security to use the bread there. And I think this is the best one on the market right now.
What's the name of it?
Huh?
What's the name?
Raven, Sky
White Sky.
I have this stand on the outside to show you. This lady came down from Sweden, and she had a very narrow upper jaw, so I expanded the bone, used bone expansion here to within the zirconium implants. She's a bridge there now, and she's had it for 1.5 years, and everything's alright.
How did you temporize this one?
Huh?
How did you temporize this one? Temporary.
This one, I just left it as it was. These two.
She didn't mind
I
that?
didn't put any protection. She was a very careful old lady. She's over 60 years old, and she's sweet, so she's very well educated and do as
Like you, Bobbie.
Huh?
Like you.
This is the way it is. As with titanium implants, also the manufacturers of zirconium implants are continuously experimenting with the surface roughness, and they go hand in hand, so to speak. It's a double thread, which makes it safer when you put it in.
You have the website for that. Is that White Sky?
Huh?
You have the website for that company?
Yes, you have, that is,
Put in Braident. B-R-E-D-E-N-T.
EREDENT.com?
Well, it'll be .de probably.
.be, yes. That is www.Breedem, which is BREDENT .de. David Exeter. Yes, D is for German.
Thank you.
That's what you talk about, the polished neck. We're talking about the part that goes into the bone is rougher than the neck, which is polished. This is the polished part of the implant, and this is the rough part of the implant. And this one you can put it in. You can stop where you want. This one has to work. It has to go down to the bone with this part. And there's also a drill that has a shape of this cuticle line shape that you're supposed to shape the bone in a bow way, and then let the implant go down to this bow that fits. And it's a bit. In reality, it doesn't always work like that. The bone is many times it's not horizontal, but it could be irregular shape. So if you have this whole part very polished, it doesn't matter. The part of the implant that is above the bone's surface is always polished. This
For those bone defects, do you put augmenting materials to cover up those defects?
That's a normal surgical procedure. You can use the patient's own bone, which is the best. I sometimes use BIOS, but I always tell the patient where it comes from, and if they don't agree on it, I don't use it. In Italy, they have an excellent bank of tissues. It's covered any kind of tissues, from tissue for heart surgery, from tissue for making materials, bone tissues, and so on. And it's first. The tissue is taken from recently dead people, and it's put in antibiotics, and then it's deep freeze to -80 degrees Celsius, which kills anything. It doesn't. There's nothing left that can harm the next patient, so to speak. And it's rather inexpensive, easy to use, and the outcome is excellent. That's a Swedish girl. She had an accident with a horse, had his two front teeth root canal. Then they had to take them out because they were infected. And the dentist made a prosthesis. This is the thing I use for to cover or to. I think you're familiar with it. In Europe, it's rather new, but I know the Americans and the Valplast. That's an excellent material to do the. Yes, you can see she's got it on there. As a temporary prosthesis, this one is excellent. There's no metal bricks. You can shape it with hot water, and it's very. It doesn't need very much place to stick to the gums. And above all, it's very cheap. She had sufficient bone left, and in this case I didn't have to take in bones to make the sign. Then when you have this, she came with this prosthesis like a normal partial, and then you just hollow it, you drill holes in it to make room for the post. That much that it doesn't touch it. And when it's something in place, it covers the post without touching it, and that's an excellent protection. It's very simple. Next one. This is then she came down 3 months later, and we put 2 crowns on. This is, you can see that this part is still open. But I've seen her after that, and it grows. The caterpillar does grow in between the crowns to fill this gap. As it normally does, if you have a good shape on your crowns and bridges, you can achieve this result. Oh yes, this is you missed. You wanted the implants on this part.
Which one?
That was
Which on top of your
This is an example where I couldn't make protection because it's a free end. So there's no tooth on behind the implant. So I just left them sufficiently low not to chew on. And I put the crowns on half a year ago, and it all went well. They didn't move or inflame or anything. It's healed around.
What type of sutures are you using?
This is
Oh, forget it. I thought maybe you
The one
know.
that they passes.
Okay.
It's not so.
Green ones.
I almost always use the silk, which is I take it away 10 days after. And I always want to see the patient again, so I rarely use the self-consuming thread. So if you leave with a sufficient gap between the post and that, you're safe. This lady had missing teeth there, and there, and there, and so we did implants on all sides. Front tooth. This is what I talk about. You make a partial and then you hollow it, just carves out room for the post. She had to have one because she was a teacher and couldn't walk without a teacher. And here you have the tooth behind to rip around with the process here. And this is a nice thing with the Bobbie Plus that it's practically invisible. It's very transparent, and when it's in contact with the gum, you don't see it. It's amazing material, and it's nylon, which doesn't give away any monomers. Some people could be sensitive to acrylics, but the nylon base in these processes are really innocuous. Then I lost. This is the one I lost.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Aren't you putting a greater risk in your implants when you're putting a partial over that's hollowed out, that you're going to get micro movement? And forces will be the main element of causing problems with the implant. It seems to me that if you, it just seems to me. It seems to me that if you put a partial on, even if you hollow it out, unless you put a hole all the way through the partial, you're loading that implant. And I would rather, if it was me, I'd rather say, if you're gonna prep those teeth like what you're doing there, why not prep the teeth, do a temporary and load the implant at the same time with non-mobile teeth? I just see that if you're gonna, the risk of, I'm seeing, and most of what I'm seeing here is the enemy of implants is force. And I'm seeing lots of people, lot of attention paid to the type of implant, but very little attention paid to the occlusal forces or the inner arch space or the things that are involved with that. I'm not criticizing, it's curious.
Yes, that's right. You said before this. That's right. You could do. You can also do Maryland's on the other side. I did this partial because it was on the two sides. And she came from. She had one day to travel to come to the clinic. So many times you choose easier. That's a good point. If you want to be safe, it's better with a fixed type Maryland bridge if you can to protect the implant instead of the loose partials.
Comment, I think in the future we're going to find out, depending on the skills of the dentist, immediate loading will be preferred. Depends how you load the implant. The person that works in our office is extremely experienced in loading the implants. So the future of implant dentistry is immediate loading. The screw types, and that doesn't mean you load it 100%. You get the help of other teeth by building them up. What is the caveat? You have to not have lateral forces, direct occlusal forces, and as the gentleman mentioned, take care of the periodontal issues. Immediate loading is becoming big in implant dentistry now.
Okay,
I can do that.
I want a copy.
Can I get a copy like this? Just put it out on the stick.
A copy would be good.
I'll make some
Don't insult it.
Ready? All right, Bobbie.
Bobby, go ahead.
I'll bring them in.
Bobby, go ahead.
Okay. There's some clinical things now you perhaps you're being familiar with the procedure. This is the this is another example where I didn't do any protection. I just left it. He's a colleague. He's a general practitioner, and he was quite happy with his two smaller teeth like that. Because he had a gap for so long. It's another advice to put it in if you want to use the drill. 19 rounds per minute. She's a singer, and she couldn't have this, she couldn't want to lose thing. She wanted fixed, so I did a splint on her with threads of glass fiber. Still leaving the backside open so you could treat. Also took away filling this tooth to use the space to fix the splint. I find this digital X-ray very useful when you do the implants to measure the exact length and drilling and putting the implant in. And you know exactly where you are. You can even push the sinus a bit if you want to, because they all rounded to end, so I can push myself 2-3 millimeters into the sinus without problems if you want to. It's just lifts the sinus. Another example of this he had a crown of it was difficult to make a splint, and he was quite happy with his ballast tooth. Open up as little as possible, just to see what the bone is like. He was born without the permanent canines, so, and now he's 35 years old, and he doesn't like his small canines anymore. He likes real teeth. So fix that one.
So did you extract the primary teeth and then place the implants immediately?
This had a root of 2 millimeters, so it was all bone under. It was quite easy. Then you cut the length of the implant and leaves him with that. I mean, it's white. It's doesn't have a really tooth shape. So it's a white thing. It's not that ugly. You can, if the patient's not too sensitive, you can also leave it like that. And that makes it easier to keep clean. It's the best alternative. And abbreviations, I don't go into that. According to the fabrication, the indications are single elements, which is safest. Or you can do bridges between when you have teeth on each side that helps to protect the bridge. They don't do freehand bridges, and above all, they don't recommend that you make full bridges on only implants. So I think this is just one step. In the future, you do anything online as you gain confidence with the material and the procedure. This was a bit short bone, so I cut the edge of it and made it round and pushed it into the sinus. Again, the implant shouldn't see where the implant is. Sometimes there's no reason for implant. This is a gentleman that came to me, and he's had this bridge for 22 years. It was made of gold and acrylic, and it was fixed on 2 teeth here and 1 tooth here. I had to take this one out because this was infected, and he thought that at the same time, oh, I'll have this bridge changed because it's not very nice anymore. So I put in 7 implants and did the full bridge. But it's not always necessary to have implants. Read this one? It's very good. I'll try to make you, if you want to feel what the zirconium drills are like, I have a piece of bone and a motor and everything, so you can hands-on try the drill and explain other things too, like directions and so on. But I have it by the table outside.
Bobbie, can I say something?
As a physician, I want a physician's point of view on the zirconium and on the titanium implants. Because working with the MELISA test, the T lymphocyte transformation test, you can see that titanium can cause reactions to the immune system, where the T cells, they memorize that they have been in contact with the titanium, and it is a burden to the immune system. And as we are exposed to titanium all the time, from the toothpaste, whether it's titanium dioxide, often as a whitening stuff, in cosmetics, we can look for the titanium dioxide, and also from other sources, like sunscreens, lots of titanium dioxide in the sunscreen. When you are continuously exposed to titanium, and when you get some sensitive patients, when they get the titanium implants, they cannot keep them in the mouth, they lose. And if they don't lose, when they get it in the hip, a titanium implant in the hip, but the immune system has had too much of titanium, so it says enough is enough, and it tries to take all things out where the titanium is. So, and with zirconium, we have not so far had one single reaction in the immune system against the zirconium. So,
thank you. Bobbie, can I ask a question? This question comes in several points. One, I want to be videoed to prove that I was in the conference, not on the deck. Okay, and we should all do that. And this is, I would like Ira and everyone else's opinion. A lot of implants now are having to put bone back in again. And I would like to know the biocompatibility of, they're either using human bone or horse bone, or what's the safety of the synthetic bones. And I do think as a group, that should be discussed at a future event. But what do you use to augment bone when you don't have enough bone for implants?
I use, I've tried ceramic, I've tried calcium, minus calcium substitutes, and I've tried bioos. I find it's disappointing, really. I mean, I prefer to graft this instrument that you can make a little hole on the outside of the mandibular and graft as much bone as you want to. And
That's the braid end one.
yes, it's a sort of razor, small razor, and it also accumulates inside the right hand, so it's a very handy thing. It's expensive, but it's really easy to use, and that gives you enough. Or I also try to I don't take this big chips from the mandible, because I've seen the patients, it leaves you with a numbness that is very irritating. But you can take from up here under the sigma, you can take punch out with this pair of drill, the drills that are around.
Trefine?
Trefine, yes. And that gives you sufficient bone too, then you can mince it if it's too compact. But
What do you use?
the thing is, you can always find sufficient bone, at least around the implants, to cover loss of bones, and you can have it from the same patient without big.
Weren't you saying you use that bone that you freeze down to 80 degrees below?
Yes.
What's that?
That's they sell it in chips. You can decide how big it is. You can cut it away. Or you can have it in your fridge for 1 week.
Is that the horse bone that they do in
That's
Italy?
from persons. That's human
Corpse.
bone.
From a corpse.
Corpse.
Yes. And it's you have sheets of the tissue that you can, for instance, you can have anteriors and veins and
But I would just like to ask, can we have a meeting on the use of someone else's bone when we put it back in implants? We have all this thing about heart transplants, taking people's vibrations with them. And so, yeah, and that would be a great debate, whether it's relevant or not. So, future meeting, Nick.
Future meeting topic.
I'm very pleased that this group is starting to be interested in implant dentistry. As you all know, structure rules, structure, function, form. Now, in my old lectures, I used to say, I'm glad my dad put amalgams in my mouth, because without the amalgams, I wouldn't have had teeth, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I agree, as Bobbie showed, the old implants were terrible. The last conference I went to, Nobel Biocare, which is a huge company, they do so much research, the Swiss scientists I took aside, literally, there's going to come the day that you're going to stick a titanium implant there with this special coating they have. It's proprietary, whatever they do, I don't know what it is. It is stimulating bone growth. I saw that. So depending on the frequency, so the day will come that we're going to alter bone growth. And that will happen with structure and forces. You put forces and structure. So we are always advancing. I've seen it on the electron microscope. It was in Las Vegas. Who went to that conference last year? Anybody saw that conference? Nobel Biocare? It's mind-blowing. You can see with implants, bone growth. So something is happening that, creating bone growth. I am not for titanium. I hope one day we won't sit here 10 years from now and say, oh my God, zirconium, it was a bad thing. But we are improving. Now, I love these implants, but the thing is, you as colleagues should understand that a company which has been making implants for many years, like Zimmer, Nobel Biocare, they are able for us dentists to provide the substructure of the implant, okay, and the abutment. Like in some of these cases, you can bury the implant, and then you could open it up with a hex lock. You could put the teeth as it with the technicians. So I hope this company also starts making several implants that you can just do the implant, not just the implant with the superstructure, so you don't have to prepare the tooth. So we are advancing, and the sooner you get into the game, the better it's going to happen. I guarantee you, the day will come that we're going to augment bone with implants. It's going to grow. It's happening. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been told that the meridians are blocked by the titanium implants. Does that happen with the zirconium implants also? The energy pathways called the meridians. Are they blocked by the zirconium implants like they are with the titanium?
The problem with all metals that they put in especially the face where the is passes from one metal to another, and also around, for instance, just in the magnet fields, you have an electric circuit that is over 9
Which area?
I'm sorry.
Is the microphone on?
9 milliwatt is the average tension from for nerves. If you have two different metals in the mouth, even titanium, you can have way above that in tension between two metals, and that disturbs any brain and the acupuncture points. It also has. It's happened 2 times to me that I've taken away gold bridge from a girl who was she didn't see very well on her eye. When I took the gold bridge away, she immediately, instantly jumped up from the chair and said, I can see. It was like, felt like Jesus. I didn't put it back again, but there's an American dentist in 1905 that showed, I think it was the metal partial in the upper jaw and the gold bridge in the under jaw, or gold crown. When this lady closed her mouth, there was a circuit that totally blocked her. She didn't see anything. She was absolutely. When she opened the mouth, she saw normal. So, as zirconia doesn't do anything like that. It doesn't induce electricity when it moves in metal or in electric or magnetic fields. It doesn't conduct electricity. It doesn't leave any ions. So it's practically neutral. It doesn't disturb the nervous system. So I think the meridians will be left these two.
Last one.
I'm not a dentist, everybody knows that, right? But I know I've had several cavitation surgeries, and the person placed Emdogain, which was a bone induced bone growth. Does anybody try that with the implants?
I tried Emdogain, which is the raw material taken from pig's teeth, the immature pig teeth. And it's supposed to make the bone grow. I didn't have any good results, and I used it very little. So, no, I have never tried it in contact with the implants.
All right, thank you.